Welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He's a best selling thriller author, award winning screenwriter, emotional thriller storyteller, and of course, outdoor adventurer. No other than Mr. Scott Wells.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Welcome, Mr. Scott, on Book 101 Review. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I missed?
Absolutely. My name is Scott Wells. I have been writing since I was in second grade. My very first book came out on Amazon about 3 months ago, and it's a true story that happened to me that I felt needed to be told. And I think, one of the things that I really get out of writing is all of my stories are based on truth, based on true experiences. And this is the first of several that I'm actually in the process of writing. And Mark by the Ouija as it launched on Amazon as a bestseller in 8 categories. It is a finalist in the Claymore Awards with Killer Nashville. I'll find out about that in 2 weeks. And there have been other projects. We're also doing a short film that's based on this. So the readers and everyone who reads the book gets a first glimpse before it actually hits the screen. So I'm very excited to share the story.
Yes, indeed, Mr. Scott Wells. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. Did you have any personal experiences with the Ouija board that influenced this story?
Yes, actually, this is a true story. This is a story that happened to me and my friends when I was 16. And I grew up in a small town in Idaho. And of course, in Idaho, you have to make your own fun, or really any small town, you've got to create your own entertainment. And that's what we did. And ultimately, we'd heard all the stories, the ghost stories, the haunted house stories. There was an old college that wasn't too far away that was rumored to be haunted, and of course, it was us thrill seekers. We would always go check it out. So it was natural that eventually we would try a Ouija board, especially because everyone told us not to do it. So when you're a teenager, what are you going to do? You're going to do exactly the opposite of what everyone else says. And yeah, that and
True.
what happened, what the teenagers, when I was a teenager, and now it's all the same. And the story is, a lot of people think it's a ghost story, and they think that it's advocating use of the Ouija board, and it's really not. It's a story about. It's a mystery. It's a true crime. It is a story about when you get a warning, when and people, everyone has had, that's something that everyone can relate to. Everyone has warnings that they haven't listened to, and there's consequences for that. In this case, the consequence was major. It was my friend died, and as a result of this. And so I felt that I had to do my friend justice. I had to tell the story, and I had to share the details of actually of what happened. So the fact that it's a true story, and the fact that it happened, 98% of the story is true. There's a few things that I had to change to create the anonymity, to keep the characters anonymous and protect their privacy. But it's a true story, and um, I've had a lot of people that have read it that love thrillers, that love horror stories, that love true crime, and they have come back. Many of them have come back and said it still gives them the the shivers, or the uh, that spine tingling feeling that I still get when I talk about it and I still think about it. And it happened quite a few years ago, but I still feel the those shivers and the hair on the back of my neck stand up.
Mr. Scott, why did you choose the title Mark by the Ouija? What does Mark signify in the context?
So the book is about my experience, and one of my friends disrespected the board, and that friend was basically marked. The person that the entity, the person that we were talking to, basically was asking us to help his sister, and we we didn't understand. We tried with all of our might. I mean, it took us 10 hours, and we did the best we could, but eventually we could not figure out how to save the sister. We were teenagers, and what I found out later was my friend had a previous experience, and that's why he was chosen or marked, which is where the title comes from, marked by the Ouija. Once you're, once marked, there's no turning back. So it's a book about true crime. It's a book about when you get a warning to think about that warning and act accordingly, and don't just automatically dismiss it, because there may be consequences to that. And in this case it was. And so that's really where the title came from, is because my friend was marked because he had disrespected the board.
So, Mr. Scott, let's talk about the themes and symbolism. How does your book explore the consequences of dabbling in the supernatural?
So there's the more that I've talked to people about this and their experiences and their stories, and I've talked to people from all over the world, and they have been very forthcoming in sharing their stories, which has been fantastic. I have learned a lot. I have been able to share a lot, and hopefully, I've been able to provide uh, some safety and some comfort for those that have been battling it or have tried it. So with the book, it's it's a story about true crime, of course, because there is the story of Peter, which is the guy that we were talking to, the story of his sister, the story of how his sister died, the story of how he died, and he was trying to help his sister, and he'd asked some other friends of mine for help, and they uh, didn't listen, and they had their own experience. And then uh, it was my board, and then they ended up a week later. I started playing with my friends, and one of those friends, which I didn't realize at the time, had played with my friends a week before when they had their other experience, and he didn't tell me. And so that he's the one that was marked, and that's really the the basis of the story as a whole. I mean, it really goes into your beliefs. It challenges your beliefs. Uh, it's not about good versus evil. It goes much deeper than that. It's about listening to yourself and listening to others and trusting yourself and trying to be the best person and be honest with yourself. And there's situations that everyone comes across every single day, and choices that we've made that we wish that we could go back and change. So this book fits in that space where we wish that we could actually go back and make different choices, but unfortunately you can't change time, and you can't go back and correct those choices. So when you have those choices, think about the consequences of those choices, and then make the best decision possible. Make the best choice that has the best outcome with the information that you have. So it's far more reaching than just a ghost story.
Indeed. And Mr. Scott, what deeper themes did you weave in the story?
So basically, the story is how it happened. There is a part of the storyline that deals with Peter's sister that I I believe is true, but that is the only part of the book besides changing the names and the location, obviously for privacy's sake. But everything else is true. So it deals with uh, abuse, and that is part of the problem with this book is. Uh, it, when it's one soul trying to expose the abuse of another to protect a loved one, and the outcome is what happened in this book.
Very well said. Mr. Scott, very well said. Is there a particular message or warning you hope readers take away?
There is. There's. I just finished a show 2 weeks ago. It was the Texas Honors Convention, and I was fortunate enough to speak with over 2,000 people. And what I really got from that is, it gave those that have actually had experiences with the Ouija board a safe place where they could share their experiences. There is the content. When you mention a Ouija board, it immediately starts the chills. People start to bristle, and they back away because they don't want anything from it. And there is some truth to that. But what I would really like for people to understand and to really get out of the story is not just the aspect about the ghost and about the board and about the effects of playing with the board, but it goes much deeper than that, where it I believe that it should be talked about. It should be spoken. People should talk about it because uh, there are people that are struggling with internal struggles, where if they had a safe place where they could share their thoughts, their experiences, then I think believe that it could save a lot of heartache and a lot of stress and a lot of pressure from different people. So that's what I hope people get out of it. I hope that that they look beyond the ghost story and they learn. They get from this to make the decisions, to listen to the warnings, to trust yourself, and also to be able to talk about the difficult conversations and not shy away. I'm not advocating using a Ouija board at all in this book or in this story, but as I found out from the show 2 weeks ago, there's a very, very high percentage of people that are intrigued by it. And my main goal in talking to those people was, look, you need to make your own decisions. You make your own choice, but please explore the consequences. Please explore all of the details and the information before you do it. We even created a safety guide for the Ouija that I was handing out. So if people are interested in trying it, there are some very specific rules for safety that they should do that. And if people sign up, one of the things that we're offering on my Substack, which is at Official Twisted Tales, if people sign up and they sign up uh, as a paid member, one of the things that we send them as a sign up gift is the safety guide. So that seems to be and has been very, very beneficial and helpful to a lot of people who have been toying or contemplating using the board. The other thing I would want to mention is with these 13 rules of using the Ouija board, the safety rules, of course, most people know you never use it alone. You always end a session by saying goodbye, and that was one of the things that I didn't know or my friends didn't know when we played it, and it had grave consequences. So if I can help other people understand it by talking about it, by becoming a safe spot, a safe place where they can share their experiences without being judged or without being bullied or ridiculed, then that will make me happy. Because I think the more we talk about it, then I think the less problems and issues we'll have with it, and that it'll help a lot of people.
Mr. Scott, as a best selling author, award winning screenwriter, emotional thriller storyteller, what are your short term and long term goals?
So I love writing. I love storytelling. I think I got it from my dad, and I have another story. I'm one of those people that just crazy things happen to, and what I've learned from my life is that crazy things are going to happen and they turn into great stories. And so that's why I write from true experiences, from a place of truth, because I want people to understand that the obvious may not be the obvious. There's, and this can be directly related to a lot of different things. So long term, I would love to be able to continue my message of things may not be as they seem, and that you should always think and research before you make a decision to go forward. I would love to be able to help and be a vessel for people to learn that and understand and practice that, because I think that would actually help people in their own lives. It certainly helped me. And I do have some other stories coming out that are also true stories that are pretty hair raising.
Good luck to your goals, Mr. Scott, and looking forward for more success. And
Thank
what will
you.
be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be, of course, like you?
So I would say go for your dream. I am a big goal setter. I've always written down my goals and I've chased them with as much passion as I have inside of me. And that's what I would recommend is everyone. I think there's a lot of people out there that have things that they want to do and they don't know, they either don't know how to get started or they are afraid of the unknown. They just don't know what they don't know. And that was the same with me, but the first step is doing the research. First step is understanding what your goal is and then chasing after it. I think everyone has something that they really want to do, but most people are afraid to take that first step. So I would encourage everyone to take that first step. I never thought I've always wanted to write a book. I've always, when I was, like I said, when I was in second grade, I wrote my very first stories, and they're actually on my website, which is scottwellsauthor.com. And I've had a lot of people that have read those that they're quite funny, and you would think that it wasn't a second grader that actually wrote those. But when I was 15, I set a goal. I wanted to have something. I'm sorry, when I was 8, I set a goal that I wanted to have something published. And it only took 46 years for me to do it, but I did it. And if I can do it, everyone else can accomplish their goals as well. All they have to do is plan it out and take that first step. Don't be scared. It's always going to be scary, but it is so worth it to reach your goal.
Yes, don't be scared, people, and stop procrastinating. Please,
Absolutely.
please, if you have a talent, write, 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 and share to the world. And thank you for
Yes.
that advice, Mr. Scott. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Yes. So the I will say that the one book that has changed my life was or is it's by David Schwartz, and the book is called The Magic of Thinking Big. when I was 6 years old, I was in my oldest brother's room, and he came home, and of course I got in trouble for being in his room, and he kicked me out, and then about 20 minutes later, he came into my bedroom, and of course I was upset and that he was mad, and he he thought, which he didn't understand the importance or what he was doing at the time, but he figured, well, I was in this room for some reason, and so he grabbed something that he didn't feel was as important, and which was a book called The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. He gave it to me. I still have that book. I've read it 11 times, and it's changed my life. I was homeless for a while, and that book was one of the biggest resources that I used to help me buy a home and start my own business several years later. So I am uh, a big supporter of that book. Again, it's The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. It has changed my life, and everyone that I've given it to, it's changed my life. And you know, being able to read that book and being able to learn how to reach my goals, that eventually brought me to Mark by the Ouija, to where I actually did this. And I never in a million years thought that I would be, it would be a bestseller in 8 categories, or I would be up for a award, or a story that I wrote, it would be uh, adapted to a short film. And we're also working on
Yes.
another project, another TV series project. So uh, chase your dreams. Don't give up. Don't give up. And it doesn't
Chase.
matter doesn't matter how old you are. It's never too late to start.
Chase your dreams, people. And congratulations, Mr. Scott. On Book 101 review, we salute you, we support you, and we are looking forward for more success. Would you
Thank
ever
you.
consider a sequel or spin-off exploring another haunted objects?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I'm working on another project right now. I've already written a screenplay for this. I had another experience that when I was backpacking in the Grand Canyon, and I ran into a serial killer, and he tried to kill my friends and I. And so I've written that movie, and I'm currently adapting that to a book. And again, that's another true story. Uh, I'm getting close to wrapping all of that up, and then the next story in this Ouija series is I'd like to explore. My plan is to explore uh, the story about Peter's sister, and about how she came to get in the situation that she was in, where Peter, who had already passed on, was pleading for our help to save her. So that would be the next book that in this Ouija series.
Do you believe in the supernatural, or is it just a purely fictional horror?
You know, I didn't used to believe at all. I'm one of those people that I need to see it for myself to believe it. I need to experience it to myself to believe it. Uh, I don't know why I'm that way, but I've learned that there's a lot of people out there like that. And so when it comes to the paranormal, I this experience has turned into a lifelong interest of just trying to find answers. Is there life on the other side? And clearly, I believe there is, and I believe that that veil between the two worlds are is very thin, and it's very easy to contact that. And this book is a true example of that. But I've had other experiences where, at first, I other paranormal experiences where at first I didn't believe it, and you try to debunk it, and you're like, oh, you try to like, oh, this is the wind, or this is this, or this is that, or this is it's a reflection from light. But when you go through it, point by point by point, and you just can't come up with a logical explanation, then I think that's your answer. So Yes, I do believe in it. And I grew up in a very religious house, in a Mormon household, so uh, it is completely opposite from how I grew up. But I also think that that is good because it made me question it. It made me curious about it, and I didn't just believe what everyone else said. I actually went out and found out for myself. And that's what I want everyone else to do is to do your research and make smart decisions and be aware, be self-aware, and be aware of what's around you. Um, Again, this book not only reaches for the ghost stories and the paranormal, but it also teaches about stories about yourself, about uh, how you make your decisions, why you make your decisions, and what the consequences of those decisions are. And so, hopefully, if people can understand those aspects, then they'll start making better decisions and their lives will improve, which would be exactly what I would like to happen. And like, I would love to be able to help anyone, help one person, obviously as many as possible, to be able to improve their lives. And this is just one way. It's a different way around it, and it's a the paranormal is a content that is makes a lot of people uncomfortable, but I think it's needed. I think that conversation needs to happen.
Mr. Scott, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too. Comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast Law 101 and Mental Health 101. Love letters in its third season, and Movie 101 Review and Music 101 in fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Scott, if this book could leave one lasting impressions on readers, what would you want it to be?
I think that the thing I would want most for that to leave is just to explore. Don't be afraid to explore. Don't be afraid to be curious. You know, be curious. Curious is makes great makes life great. It uh, and I think there's a lot of things that people are afraid or they feel that they shouldn't be curious about. And ask questions, be curious, explore that. Don't be afraid. It makes life better. And if we can all do something that makes our life better, I think society would be a lot better, and we would be much happier.
Definitely be curious in everything. People who knows you will be the next Einstein and discover the mystery of the universe. So, Mr. Scott Wells, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world.
Thank
So
you for
can
having me.
yes, so can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your projects, or anything that you are doing right now?
Absolutely. So I've started a company called Twisted Tales. Twisted Tales is the publisher of the book. On Facebook, it's the Twisted Tales Facebook page. Instagram, it's Twisted Tales Author. And then, of course, Substack, where everyone that joins Substack, which is official Twisted Tales, they will also get that uh, Ouija safety guide, and that is some really good information. And then, of course, they can look at the website, and along with all of that, we're also going to have opportunities for to get involved in the short film, where there's a few opportunities where they can actually join us on set. So there's a lot of exciting things happening. So check us out on Instagram, on Facebook, on Substack, and we hope to see you soon.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Scott Wells because if you support him, for sure, more and more and more empowering books to come, more and more empowering, award-winning piece to come. So, Mr. Scott, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate it. And you've been busy. You've been very
Busy.
busy with all your podcasts and very successful.
Yes.
So it's great to be here.
Thank you so much. More to come, people. See you soon.